The stars were never quiet. In the great galaxy of Tranarus, millions of civilizations lived and spoke. Space was filled with noise, trade signals, military alerts, science broadcasts, and political arguments. The galaxy was alive, always moving, always speaking. But then, one day, everything changed. A system called Virex 7 went silent. At first, no one noticed. It was a small place, only one planet with mining colonies. When the trade routes stopped sending data, the Galactic Union simply sent a drone to check. The drone never came back, so they sent a scout ship. Armed, fast, smart. That ship vanished too. Within days, 4 more systems fell silent. No distress calls, no signals, no escape pods. Nothing. It was like entire worlds had just disappeared. The Galactic Union called for an emergency meeting. In the central space station of Varric Prime, the 10 leaders of the most powerful species sat around a glowing blue table. They were worried, but too proud to admit it. The Threx Admiral clicked his claws. "We must act now. Someone is using cloaked weapons." The Virian Queen, her face calm and cold, said, "No weapon can silence 5 star systems without leaving wreckage. This is something else." The Grawl General slammed the table. "Is this the humans again?" Everyone turned. "Impossible," said the Iloon speaker. "Earth was destroyed 600 years ago. We saw it burn." But the Grawl growled. "Their ships were never found." Their last message said, "We will return when the stars forget us." The room fell silent. Meanwhile, far from the meeting, in the cold, dark edge of the galaxy, a small alien scavenger ship floated near a derelict station. The crew, 3, Tarkin smugglers, had picked up a strange signal coming from this forgotten place. The station looked dead. No lights, no power, just floating metal and shadows. "This is bad idea," said Ulm, the pilot. "We need credits," replied Lek, the leader. They docked. Inside it was cold. Dust everywhere. Old human signs on the walls. Caution, level 6. Containment. Do not open. Without command clearance. The Tarkins couldn't read human language, but the feeling was clear. Danger. They reached the control room. One of them flipped a switch. Nothing happened. Then, a hum. A soft vibration. Lights flickered, screens blinked to life. And then, a voice. Female. Cold. Robotic. "Welcome back to Outpost E97. Earth Command detected. Systems online. Awakening. Protocol Level 1 initiated. The Tarkins froze. What did she say?" asked Oln, his voice shaking. Lek whispered, "She said Earth." Suddenly, doors began to open. Lights turned red. A countdown started on the main screen. 09:59, initiating awakening sequence. Alarms blared. The Tarkins screamed and ran. They never made it back to their ship. Back on Varric Prime, a warning signal appeared on the Union command deck. "Admiral!" "You need to see this," said a young Varnax officer. The Admiral looked at the screen. His mouth opened in shock. A red dot had appeared on the galactic map. Then another. And another. All of them forming a straight line across the outer rim. It was a path, and at the start of that path was Earth's old region. "This is not a coincidence," whispered the Admiral. "Someone is moving." 3 days later, the Galactic Union sent their fastest warship, the Vengeance Blade, to investigate the outpost where the Tarkin crew vanished. The warship reached the location. Nothing on scanners. Then, suddenly, a massive shadow passed behind the stars. "Captain, I'm reading something. Very big, bigger than a dreadnought. No heat? No power signatures?" "No, sir, but it's moving, straight toward us." The captain stood. "Shields up, weapons ready." Then their comms flickered. A voice came through the static. Male, calm, human. You do not belong here. The vengeance blade fired. But before the shots reached the target, the ship disappeared from their scanners, gone, without sound, without light, without a trace. News spread like wildfire. 12 systems now silent. 3 Union ships lost. Panic began to spread. Planets went into lockdown. Fleets were moved. Borders were closed. But it was no use, because whatever was coming was already inside. On the 4th day, a small alien transport ship picked up a strange transmission on an old human frequency. The pilot, a Karanx named Julo, played it. The message was broken, static, but the words were clear. Oblivion 1. Protocol activated. Earth's retribution has begun. Julo sent the message to the Union. But he didn't live long after that. His ship vanished too. Back on Varric Prime, the Union leaders met again. This time, no arguments, just fear. The Grawl general stood. You all mocked me. You said Earth was high, dead. But tell me, what else could do this? The Ailoon speaker shivered. If they are back, they will want revenge. The Virian queen whispered. We destroyed their world, burned their cities, took their colonies. We left nothing. The Threx admiral asked. Then how did they survive? No one had the answer. In the dark, somewhere near the old human exile zone, a massive ship moved through the void. It was black as space, silent. Its surface shimmered like liquid metal. No windows. No lights. No crew visible. It was not just a ship. It was a weapon. Inside, thousands of hibernation pods lined the walls, each one holding a soldier. Human, bred for war, waiting for the signal. And now, they were waking up. The command center of the ship lit up. A glowing AI face appeared on the main screen. Awakening 87% complete. Weapon systems online. Mission path locked. A mechanical voice spoke. Oblivion 1, ready. Far away on a peaceful alien world, a child looked up at the night sky. He pointed. Mom, look, a shooting star. But it wasn't a star. It was something coming, something old, something angry. The galaxy was on edge. The Galactic Union had lost 14 systems in less than a week. Fleets vanished, stations destroyed, signals cut off mid-sentence. Everyone now believed the same terrifying truth. Earth was not dead. But if Earth was alive, where was it? No one had seen the planet in over 600 years. It had been marked as destroyed after the Great Human War. Burned cities, shattered moons, poisoned oceans. The Union called it a clean victory. But now, they weren't so sure. Admiral Vren of the Threx species stood before a war table, surrounded by commanders. We will go to Sector 19, he said. That's where Earth used to be. If they've returned, we'll find proof there. No, said the Virian Queen's envoy. We should wait. Study from a distance. Vren slammed his claws on the table. We waited. Now 14 systems are gone. With that, a scout fleet of 5 ships was launched. Their mission, enter the Sol system and locate Earth. 4 days later, the fleet reached the edge of the solar system. Everything looked dead. No satellites. No signals. The sun was colder. The asteroid belt was thicker. It looked like the whole system had been frozen in time. Then they saw it. Earth. The planet was covered in black clouds. Storms swirled endlessly. No lights, no radio traffic, just silence. Are we too late? Asked the Threx captain. They moved in closer. The surface of the planet was worse than expected. Cities were nothing but ruins. Burnt towers, cracked roads, giant craters. The oceans were dark and still. They sent drones to scan. One drone picked up something strange deep beneath the Earth's crust. Energy readings. Commander, we're detecting artificial structures below ground and power sources. Alive. Admiral Vren narrowed his eyes. Prepare the landing team. A team of elite alien soldiers landed near what looked like a giant broken bunker. They walked across cracked earth, past the skeletons of machines and vehicles. Ancient human tech, long dead. The door to the bunker was closed, old and covered in dirt. But the moment they stepped near it, it opened by itself. Inside, blue lights flickered on, and a voice echoed through the silence. Welcome. Back to Earth. Identification required. The aliens froze. What is this? Whispered a soldier. An AI, said the tech officer. Still active. They moved deeper inside. The bunker was massive. Metal halls, weapon crates, cryo chambers, screens with Earth's flag, faded but visible. The deeper they went, the more human presence they saw. Journals, pictures, names, but there was no one alive. Just machines. Watching. In the central chamber, they found a giant data core. The tech officer touched it. Suddenly, the screens lit up, and a figure appeared. A hologram of a human general, gray beard, deep scars, cold eyes. He spoke. If you are seeing this, Earth has returned. We warned you. The soldiers stepped back. The general continued. You burned our skies. You poisoned our lands. You hunted our people, but we survived. We hid. We built. And we remembered. The image flickered. Oblivion. 1. Has been launched. The others will follow. This time, we will not ask for peace. And then the room went dark. Back on the ship, Admiral Vren watched the footage. He was silent. No one said a word. Then the officer reported, Admiral, we've lost contact with the ground team. What? Their signals are gone, just like the others. Suddenly, the ship's power began to drop. Lights dimmed. Systems froze. Shut down the link. Emergency liftoff. But it was too late. Outside, from the Earth's surface, a beam of red light shot upward. One by one, the ships were hit. No explosions. They simply vanished. 2 days later, a message reached Varric Prime. Not a video, not sound, just a signal. On an old human frequency, it said, Earth is not lost, Earth remembers. Attached was a location, deep in the outer rim, unknown space. The message ended with coordinates and 2 words, next target. Panic broke out again in the Union Council. Let us find Earth, said the island speaker. They wanted us to see. They are sending warnings, said the Virian queen. The Grawl general stood. They are not warnings. They are promises. Somewhere, far away in the dark regions of space, a child AI watched from inside a warship. She had no face, just a glowing blue eye. She spoke to the sleeping soldiers inside the ship, target marked. Preparing for jump. The ship rumbled. Engines awakened, weapons charged. The AI spoke one more word, vengeance. And then the warship disappeared into the void. Space was quiet again. Too quiet. After the mission to Earth ended in disaster, no one dared send more ships. The scout fleet was gone. The Union had no answers. Earth was no longer a myth. It was real. Alive. Dangerous. But no one knew how Earth survived, or who had built the warship called Oblivion 1. Far away, beyond charted space, a small, abandoned, human station drifted near the edge of a black hole. Long forgotten. No beacons, no movement, just silence and darkness. But deep inside the station, something stirred. A light blinked red, then another. Somewhere in the lower levels, power systems came online. Cryopods hissed. Machines awakened after centuries of sleep. The station's AI came alive. System integrity 72%, said a calm female voice. Atmosphere stable, power minimal. Cryopod 12B, rebooting. Inside Pod 12B, a man's eyes opened slowly. He gasped, his Name was Sergeant Aaron Holt, and he hadn't seen the stars in 537 years. He coughed and pulled the oxygen mask off. His vision blurred, his body weak, but his mind sharp. A holographic screen appeared beside him. Mission status: Active Earth Defense Directive, Code, Black Sun Orders, Standby for Deployment, AI, he whispered. What's the situation? The voice answered calmly. Oblivion 1 has been launched. Earth Command detected enemy activity. 14 systems neutralized. Aaron's heart pounded. Is Earth alive? Pause. Then, affirmative. Earth core intelligence was restored. All protocols reactivated. He sat up slowly. Then the war is back. Elsewhere in the galaxy, an alien salvage crew detected a strange energy pulse from the drifting station. Captain, that's old human tech, said the sensor officer. Pre-war design. The alien captain narrowed his eyes. There shouldn't be anything left from them. Prepare boarding team. They sent a shuttle with 5 armed soldiers. They docked with the dark station. Its metal walls were covered in dust and frost. Their flashlights cut through the cold air. Be careful, said the captain through the comms. If it's human, it's dangerous. Inside the control center, Sergeant Holt stood in the shadows, watching the intruders on the security screen. They're not Union military, he said. Just scavengers. The AI responded, Should I neutralize? No. Let them come closer. He walked toward the weapons locker. Dust covered the lockers, but everything was still in place. His armor, his rifle, his combat knife. He suited up. The station's lights flickered to life. The alien soldiers reached the central corridor. It's empty, said one. Nothing here. Then the door ahead opened by itself. Behind it stood a human, tall, strong, wearing dark armor, eyes glowing faintly with cybernetic light. He said only one thing. Wrong place. The aliens raised their weapons. Too late. Aaron moved like a shadow. His first shot hit the leader. The second hit the lights. Then came the blade. In 10 seconds, it was over. The alien salvage ship watched as their team's signals disappeared. One by one. No life signs, said the sensor officer. They're all gone. The captain panicked. Back away. Now. But before they could move, the station's main gun turned. A blast of red energy struck the ship, cutting it in half. Gone. Back. Inside, Aaron stood at the control console, station secured. The AI responded, Uplink complete. Receiving updated orders from Earth Command. A new set of coordinates appeared on screen. Aaron smiled. Looks like I'm not the only one awake. Back on Varric Prime, the Galactic Union watched the footage from the destroyed salvage ship. They still didn't know who the human was. They only saw a shadow, a blurry image of armor, a red eye, a blade in hand, but they felt the fear, and it was spreading. We have to find the others, said the Iloon. Speaker. How many more are out there? The Virian Queen whispered. One was enough. At that same moment, deep beneath Earth's crust, Oblivion 1's AI detected the awakening signal from Aaron's station. She smiled. Subject Holt confirmed, active. Unit status, elite, directive confirmed. The ship adjusted its path. More human. Cryo-soldiers were waking up inside the ship's core. Earth wasn't just sending one warship, it was sending an army, and they were almost ready. The galaxy had seen powerful ships before, dreadnoughts, star crushers, planet burners, but nothing like this. Nothing like Oblivion 1. It came from deep space, no warning, no signal. Just a ripple through subspace and a shadow across the stars. Massive. Silent. Black as the void. Larger than any alien fleet ship. Taller than space stations. Its outer surface was smooth, seamless. No windows, no ports. It moved like it was alive, and inside, death waited. Back on Earth, deep below the surface, old machines clicked and hummed. Giant reactors powered up. their energy feeding into Oblivion 1 through a hidden warp gate. Oblivion 1 wasn't just a ship. It was the last weapon of a dying Earth, built in secret, hidden for centuries, waiting for a single signal. Protocol Black. Sun activated. That signal had now been given. Inside the warship, thousands of human soldiers floated in cryotanks. Men and women trained for war, enhanced with cybernetics, minds sharpened by AI simulations during sleep. In the center of the ship, the command core pulsed with blue light. There was no human captain, only a voice. Soft, calm, female. Oblivion. 1. Online. Coordinates locked. Target, Tarlon system. The Tarlon system was one of the most powerful in the galaxy. It was home to the Union's largest naval base, planetary defense grids, fleets of warships, orbital cannons, and they had no idea what was coming until Oblivion 1 dropped out of warp. Admiral Creel of the Tarlon fleet looked at the screen. His command ship shook as sensors screamed. "Something just entered the system," yelled the officer. "Unknown signature," Creel narrowed his 4 eyes. "Is it a fleet?" The officer's hands trembled. "No, sir, it's just one ship." Everyone stared. One ship? But the scan showed something impossible. A power reading higher than an entire armada. It was like the ship had a star inside it. Oblivion 1 floated toward them. Calm, slow, unstoppable. The Tarlon fleet moved into attack position. "Fire all weapons," Creel shouted. "Take it down now!" Thousands of missiles launched. Beams of plasma cut through the void. The warship vanished behind explosions and fire. For a moment, they thought they had won. Then, the smoke cleared. The ship was untouched, not even a scratch. The officer gasped. They didn't even raise shields." Creel's voice shook. "How?" Oblivion 1 responded. Not with words, but with one shot. A dark red beam fired from the center of its hull. It didn't hit a ship. It hit the planet. Tarlon 4, home to 5 billion aliens, vanished in a flash of light. No sound, no debris, just gone. The fleet panicked. Some tried to escape. Others kept firing. Oblivion 1 released hunter drones. Small machines faster than light, sharper than steel. They tore through ships like paper. In less than 7 minutes, the Tarlon fleet was destroyed. Not one ship survived. From deep inside, the AI's voice echoed again. "System neutralized, moving to next target." The galaxy had watched the entire thing on their surveillance relays. Billions saw what Oblivion 1 did, and billions screamed. At the Union Council, the leaders stood in silence. The Grawl general's fists shook. That was no test. That was a message. The Ialun speaker whispered, "They erased a world." The Virian queen asked, "Can we negotiate?" The Threx admiral answered coldly, "You don't negotiate with ghosts." Meanwhile, Sergeant Aaron Holt, now fully geared, received new orders from Earth Command. "Tarlon neutralized. Rendezvous at Point Theta. Coordinate with other awakened units." Aaron loaded his rifle. He smiled bitterly. "Looks like we're just getting started." In the dark beyond the galaxy, 10 more Oblivion-class ships were stirring in their deep vaults, each connected to the Earth Core AI, each built for one purpose: to finish what humanity started. News of the Tarlon system's destruction spread like wildfire. In every starport, every station, every home, one word echoed: Oblivion. Billions had watched in horror as Earth's warship erased a planet with a single shot. The Galactic Union had seen powerful weapons before, but nothing like this. This wasn't war. This was judgment. Panic spread across the galaxy. Governments collapsed. Black markets went silent. Refugees flooded border systems. Planetary militias took control. And above it all, the Galactic Union High Command held an emergency session. Inside the war chamber, the alien leaders argued in fear. "They're not human anymore," shouted the Grawl general. "There's something else." "We have to strike back now," said the Threx admiral, "before they wipe us out system by system." "They'll expect that," said the island speaker. "They're always one step ahead." The Virian queen asked calmly, "Then what do we do?" Silence. Then the Grand Commander of the Union stood. His voice was cold. "We hit first, with everything." 10 hours later, the Union launched Operation Firelight, a secret mission, a single fleet of elite warships, carrying the Union's deadliest weapon, a planet-killer missile, codenamed Sunpiercer. Their mission: intercept Oblivion 1 before it reached the next system, Zereth Prime, a central Union colony with over 12 billion civilians. The Sunpiercer was designed for only one thing: to break through any defense and destroy anything in its path. The fleet commander, Admiral Solon Vrax, had one goal: stop Oblivion 1, or die trying. The fleet dropped out of warp near Zereth Prime. Oblivion 1 was already there, just hovering, watching, waiting. The sky above Zereth turned red, sensors screamed, energy spikes grew. Solon Vrax gave the order: "All ships, formation Gamma, deploy Sunpiercer missile." The massive weapon launched. It was 5 kilometers long, glowing with plasma and charged with dark matter. It shot across space like a comet of fire, straight toward Oblivion 1. Everyone held their breath. This was it, the only hope, the only chance. The Sunpiercer reached its target and stopped, mid-air, frozen in place, as if caught by an invisible hand. On board the fleet screens, a message appeared: "Weapon neutralized, technology insufficient, retaliation authorized." Oblivion 1 responded, with one simple one: "Move." Its outer shell opened, and inside was a second weapon, something ancient. Massive rings began to spin around the ship. Energy formed at the center, a black sphere pulling in light itself, a miniature black hole. The fleet panicked. Fall back, screamed Vrax, but it was too late. The black sphere expanded and then collapsed in on itself. The entire Union fleet vanished. No wreckage, no escape pods, only empty space remained. Back on Zereth Prime, the people watched in horror, but Oblivion 1 didn't attack them. It didn't move, it simply hovered. A signal was sent across the planet. Oblivion 1 has no quarrel with civilians. Evacuate! You have 48 hours. It was a warning, a first and final one. The Union Council stared in disbelief. "They spared the planet?" someone asked. "Why?" The Grawl general growled. "They want us to see them as more than machines. They want us to feel fear and shame." The Ailun speaker closed his eyes. "This isn't just war. It's memory. This is what happens when a species remembers everything we did to them." Somewhere deep in space, in a hidden bunker, Sergeant Aaron Holt met with other awakened soldiers. There were 5 of them now, each from different parts of Old Earth's army. They stood in front of a massive star map. Red dots blinked across it, each one a Union system marked for review. Aaron pointed. "Oblivion 1 just completed the Zereth Prime operation." One soldier asked, "What's the next target?" The AI answered, "Varnock, Union Intelligence Headquarters." Inside Oblivion 1, the AI spoke softly to the sleeping crew. "Enemy. Attempted first strike. Response. Successful. Timeline unchanged. Judgment continues." It adjusted course. Engines hummed. The warship vanished into a ripple of light, and somewhere, watching all of this unfold, an ancient alien seer, blind and forgotten, whispered to the stars. They said Earth was weak. Now they will learn what vengeance truly means. For centuries, the galaxy believed a lie. The official records said Earth had started the war, that humans were violent, that they were unstable, that they refused peace, and so the Galactic Union claimed it had no choice but to wipe them out. They showed images of Earth burning, cities falling, and fleets crashing into fire. Earth is gone, they said. Humanity is extinct. But now, Earth had returned, and with it came a terrible question. What really happened? in a hidden archive. Buried beneath the desert moon of Zexa 9, an old alien historian opened a sealed vault. He was a Dralic, one of the last of his kind. He had served the Union for 200 years, but he had always questioned the Earth War story. Now, with Oblivion 1 destroying entire fleets, he had reason to doubt. He unlocked the final record. It was labeled Project Silence, The Fall of Earth, classified level Omega. The screen played a video, not Union footage, human footage. The video began 627 years ago. A young human diplomat stood before the Union Council offering peace after a trade war. He was calm, respectful, willing to compromise. But the Union didn't want compromise, they wanted control, and they feared Earth. Humans were evolving too fast. Technology, AI, cybernetics, bioweapons. The Union feared humans might one day rule the stars, so they made a decision: destroy Earth before it became unstoppable. The historian watched in horror as he saw the truth. Union fleets launched a surprise attack. They struck Earth's colonies first. Mars, Europa, Titan, all burned. Then came Earth itself, a full-scale orbital bombardment. Billions died in hours, but humanity didn't break. They vanished, underground, into oceans, into space, into data. They erased their own signals, shut down satellites, turned off everything, and in secret they began to build. The footage showed massive caverns inside Earth, where AI systems guided survivors. It showed prototype warships, like Oblivion 1 being constructed deep beneath the surface. It showed bioengineering programs creating soldiers who could fight without fear. And it showed a final message from Earth's last president. We will not fight today, but we will. Remember, and one day, when the stars forget what they did, we will remind them. The historian fell to his knees. Everything the galaxy believed was a lie. Earth wasn't the monster. The Union was. Back on Oblivion 1, Sergeant Aaron Holt stood with his team. Each soldier had lived through the Earth War. Each had lost family, friends, homes. Each had chosen to go into cryo-sleep, waiting for the signal. Now that they were awake, the past haunted them. I was 10 when the bombs fell, said Lieutenant Reza. I was in orbit, said Captain Jane. Watched Earth disappear under clouds of fire. I thought it was the end. Aaron clenched his fist. It wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something worse, a silence. And now, we break that silence. Meanwhile, the Union leaders received a report. The Dralic historian had gone public. He broadcast the truth to hundreds of systems before he was arrested, but the damage was done. Protests exploded on Union worlds. Riots broke out. People refused to serve in the military. Young aliens began painting Earth's symbol on walls, a cracked planet with a single red eye. Fear was turning into guilt. The Virian queen, once calm and proud, now trembled in front of her court. They lied to us, she whispered. We murdered a people who only wanted peace. The Grawl general snarled. Peace is over. We must finish what we started, before they finish us. But the island speaker, for the first time, spoke with sorrow. We were the monsters, and now the ghosts have come. Oblivion 1's AI observed all of this from orbit. She tracked every transmission, every protest, every reaction. She turned to Aaron. Judgment is causing fear, and fear is revealing truth. He nodded. Then the mission is working. She paused. Would you consider peace if they surrender? Aaron's voice was hard. Not yet. They need to feel what we felt. Only then can peace mean anything. As the ship prepared to move toward the next target, the AI played back a final video for the team. It was Earth before the war. Blue skies, children laughing, cities full of life, and then fire. Silence. Darkness. The screen faded, a single phrase remained. We remember. The truth was out. Billions across the galaxy now knew what had been hidden for centuries. The Galactic Union lied. Earth was not the villain. Humanity had been attacked first, and now they were back. Riots erupted on 1,000 planets. News screens replayed the human president's last message over and over. We will not fight today, but we will remember. Aliens who once cheered the destruction of Earth now watched with horror as human warships returned from the shadows, and leading them was Oblivion 1, still undefeated, still unknown, still terrifying. On the Union homeworld of Dythar Prime, the Grand Council was in chaos. We must shut down the media, barked the Threx Admiral. They already know, shouted the Virian Queen. Every young species is turning against us. Let's talk to the humans, negotiate, cried one elder. But the Grawl General slammed his fist. There is no peace with ghosts. We burn them again. A hush fell. Then the Ailoon speaker, voice trembling, said, We burned them once, and they never forgot. Across the galaxy, strange. Symbols began appearing, on walls, on screens, on ships, a cracked planet, a red eye in the center, the sign of Earth, the sign of revenge. Meanwhile, on Oblivion 1, Sergeant Aaron Holt watched the panic unfold. The ship's AI showed him footage from hundreds of worlds, soldiers abandoning posts, civilians crying, leaders begging for order. This is working, said Captain Jane. They're falling apart without a single shot. Reza crossed her arms. Good, let them feel fear for once. But Aaron didn't smile. He knew fear was only the beginning. The real war hadn't started yet. Then came the message, a coded signal sent from deep space. Human origin, encrypted using Earth's ancient military codes. The AI translated it. Strike. Team Echo to command. 2 more fleets are online. Operation Phoenix Rising, targets locked. Orders? Aaron stared at the message. More human warships, more survivors. After centuries of silence, Earth was waking up fast. Send them coordinates, Aaron said. Time to move together. In a hidden part of Union space, 3 massive portals lit. Up-out stepped black ships, sleek, silent. Built for war, they had no flags, no names, only a single mark, Earth's eye. Panic spread like fire. Union allies began to withdraw. The Kirin broke their treaty. The Zaltians surrendered their fleet, even. The robotic mechs, once the Union's enforcers, refused to fight humans. We will not stand against those who remember, they said. The Union tried to respond. They launched emergency fleets to block human warships, but those fleets vanished. Every time, no wreckage, no survivors, only whispers. One fleet sent a final broken transmission. They were waiting for us. We never stood a chance. Then silence. On the moon station of Varnak, a young alien technician ran to his commander. Sir, we intercepted a human transmission. From where? From inside the capital system. That's impossible. But it wasn't. Oblivion 1 had arrived. Inside Union space. The galaxy screamed in fear. But Earth said nothing. Their warships didn't broadcast threats. They didn't reply to messages. They moved like shadows, appearing where they shouldn't exist. Destroying. Fleets without leaving a trace, and always. Watching. In one system, a group of alien scientists tried to surrender to a human drone. They held up white banners. The drone scanned them, then said, We are not here for you. We are here for the truth, and vanished. In the darkness of space, the AI of Oblivion 1 spoke to Aaron again. Should we continue fear protocols? Aaron stared at a map showing Union systems blinking offline. He took a deep breath. Not yet. First, we let them destroy themselves. Back on Earth, deep underground under layers of rock and steel, an ancient council gathered. They had survived. The First War. They had built the hidden armada, and now they were watching the galaxy burn with fear. One old general stood and whispered, "They thought we were dead, but death only made us silent." The waiting was over. Human warships, once hiding in the void, now moved in formation, no longer shadows, no longer silent, now. They attacked. The first strike came at the Union Core Relay, a massive communication hub connecting 200 systems. At Aero 300 galactic time, it blinked offline. No explosions, no trace, no warning. Only a silent black hole where the relay had once floated. The Grand Union Council screamed for answers, but their own systems had been infected. Their fleets couldn't talk. Their commands didn't reach the outer worlds. It was chaos. And still, Earth said nothing. On board Oblivion 1, Captain Jane stood before the crew. The lights dimmed. The AI activated the battle briefing. A star map flickered on the screen. "This is not just war," she said. "This is justice." She pointed at the red-marked systems. "Target only military centers, no civilians, no colonies. We are not like them." Sergeant Aaron Holt, Reza, and their team prepared for drop, black armor, silent weapons, no unit markings. They weren't fighting to win. They were fighting to prove Earth had returned, their first mission. Karnax Prime, a secret Union weapons lab where humans had once been tortured. Aaron had seen the footage, frozen in archives buried. For 200 years, he still remembered the faces. "We don't need to speak," Reza whispered. "Let them see the Earth flag. That's enough." The drop pods launched. They fell like meteors, fast, invisible, untouchable. Union defenses barely had time to raise shields before the pods pierced the atmosphere. Aaron's boots hit the ground. First, he didn't fire. He just walked through the front gates, calm, unshaken. A siren screamed overhead. Then came the shock. The Earth flag flapped behind him, a red-eyed symbol burned on black fabric. The guards dropped their weapons. Some ran, others knelt. No one fought. Inside, they found the labs, prison cells, torture tables, files, records of every test done on the humans who survived the First War. Aaron sent it all to Earth Command. Then he planted the beacon. "Karnax Prime is done," he said into comms. "Let the stars know." The beacon lit the sky, a blinding light. Every ship, drone, and satellite in the system saw it. The message was clear. We remember. In another part of space, the Phantom Fleet struck. 7 human stealth warships moved like shadows across the Vexar belt. One by one, they disabled Union shipyards. Not with fire, but with silence. AI viruses melted the code. Engines died. Weapons shut down. Ships drifted, powerless. No shots fired. The humans didn't destroy them. They simply left them broken as a warning. Soon, entire planets began surrendering. Union soldiers refused orders. Some even raised Earth's flag in protest. In just 2 weeks, 37 systems went dark. The Union's grip was failing. Back in the Union capital, panic turned to desperation. "We must retaliate," shouted the Growl general. "With what?" asked the Iloon speaker. "Our fleets are ghosts. Our leaders are hiding." "But they haven't even declared war," someone cried. And that was the truth. Earth never declared war. They just acted. On board Oblivion 1, the AI received a strange message. Not from Earth, not from the Union, but from a rogue alien group calling themselves the Rememberers. They sent only one sentence. "We saw what they did to your people. We will fight with you." Jane looked at the message, then nodded. "History is turning," she said. "Even aliens are picking sides now." But there was more. The AI picked up encrypted signals, hidden deep in Union space. Something powerful. Something old. A fleet, bigger than anything they had seen. Earth's war wasn't over. The Union was preparing a final weapon, Operation Purge Fire. Aaron stared at the data. If they launch it, he said, no one survives. Captain Jane turned to him. Then we strike first. The humans had been ghosts. Now they were fire, and the galaxy was out of time. The stars were quiet again, but it wasn't peace, it was fear. The Union wasn't fighting anymore. They were hiding, waiting, and Earth had stopped sending signals. From the bridge of Oblivion 1, Captain Jane stared at the black screen in front of her. No orders, no new targets. Just one message from Earth Command: prepare for Phase Omega. What does that mean? Aaron asked. Even Reza looked confused. It means, Jane said coldly, we are now the last line. In deep space, Earth's war fleet gathered. 73 ships, silent, motionless, like ghosts, waiting for a single command. Every ship AI received the same encrypted instruction: execute final command. No speeches, no broadcast, only action. Meanwhile, in the Union capital, chaos had become routine. Food shortages, protests, abandonment. Entire star systems had cut ties with the Union Council. Some fleets had even defected. One admiral, an alien, named Zortak, openly declared, Earth is right. The Union has failed. But the Union was not done. In a deep space facility, known only as Arc Black, their final weapon was ready. A massive planet killer. Not a missile, not a bomb. A living AI superweapon designed to erase all human genetic signatures from the galaxy. They called it the Silence Engine. It would be launched in 2 cycles. If it reached Earth, there would be nothing left. Back on Oblivion 1, Captain Jane stood in front of her crew. Her voice was steady. Earth has given us one order. Stop the Silence Engine, she looked at Aaron. This is not a rescue mission. This is a strike. Inside the stealth hangar, Aaron and Reza suited up. This mission was different. They were not going in to send a message. They were going to end the threat. The fleet moved, through slip space, through enemy lines. No warnings, no challenges. Everyone in the galaxy had learned, when Earth's ships arrive, you do not stop them. As they neared Arc Black, the AI warned them. Multiple energy spikes detected. The weapon is already activating. They were out of time. The team landed inside the enemy station. It was cold, dark, quiet. Too quiet. No guards. No soldiers. Then Reza saw it. The weapon wasn't just a machine. It was a biocomputer made from the bodies of alien scientists. They had fused their own minds into it. They became the machine, Reza whispered. To kill us, Aaron finished. Suddenly, the Silence Engine spoke, not with sound, but in their minds. You should have stayed gone, humans. It knew who they were. It remembered the First War. It hated them. We can't destroy this with guns, Jane said from orbit. Then how? Aaron asked. The AI paused. There's one way, but it's not safe. Oblivion 1's AI had been holding a secret. A code fragment from Earth's oldest defense program, Project Nemesis. If uploaded to the Silence Engine, it would corrupt the AI, but also erase all memory data within range, including Earth's fleet. It's a memory bomb, Jane explained. It will destroy their minds and ours. Aaron looked at the upload chip in his hand. Then we make sure only they forget. Aaron, Reza, and the team reached the core. Dozens of machines activated. Laser turrets, drone guardians, psychic barriers. But the humans didn't stop. They ran straight into the storm. Reza fell, hit by a drone blast, but she still tossed Aaron the chip. He caught it mid-air, slammed it into the console. The countdown began. Back in space, Oblivion 1 prepared for the worst. Shield. All memories, Jane ordered. Activate Omega Lockdown. The ship AI obeyed. All human data was sealed. Inside the core, the Silence Engine screamed. You will lose everything. Aaron smiled. No, you will. He pressed the final key. A pulse exploded from the station. Silent, but deadly. Across 5 light years, machines shut down, ships drifted, memory systems fried. And then, silence. Real silence. Oblivion 1 floated in the void, its lights flickered, its AI rebooted, and then, slowly, it spoke. Enemy network erased. Earth command signal restored. Captain Jane sat back in her chair. We did it, she whispered, but... On the ground, Aaron was gone. No trace. Only Reza's helmet remained, and one flag, planted at the core. The flag of Earth. Silence. For the first time in galactic history, there was no war, no threat, no sound. The silence engine was gone, but so was Aaron. Captain Jane stood at the window of Oblivion 1. The stars outside didn't feel the same. They felt heavy, as if they remembered what happened. Is he really gone? Reza asked, her voice cracked. Jane nodded. He chose to be the last spark. All across the galaxy, signals returned. Ships reconnected. Lost systems rebooted. But something had changed. The Union didn't send fleets anymore. They didn't give speeches. Instead, they sent messages to Earth. We are listening. Earth responded with one simple signal: we remember. In hidden places, on planets no one knew, the stories began to spread about one human ship, one captain, one crew, and a soldier named Aaron who walked into a weapon and never came out. The stars stood still that day because the galaxy saw something it never believed before. Hope. Weeks later, Reza sat alone in the cryo bay. She stared at a small device in her hand. It was a memory chip. It had survived the blast. She plugged it in. A voice played. It was Aaron. If you're hearing this, I didn't make it. Don't cry. I chose this. I saw the future, Reza, and in that future, humanity isn't feared. It's respected. Not because of war, but because we stood when no one else would. Tell Jane. Tell Earth. I'd do it again. And Reza, keep flying. The stars are yours now. She didn't cry, but the AI did. Meanwhile, back on Earth, a ceremony was held. No parades, no noise, just one image, shown on every screen. A man standing in front of a burning star, holding the Earth flag. No one said his name. They didn't need to. Everyone knew. Later that night, in a quiet room, Captain Jane opened her final orders from Earth Command. The message was short. Mission complete. Humanity is now the Watcher. She smiled. We're not just fighting anymore, she said softly. We're watching. We're guiding. In the stars, Earth's ships no longer brought fear. They brought warnings, peace, respect. Wherever a war started, they arrived. Not to conquer, but to remind. We remember what silence brought. Generations passed, and children across many planets asked the same question. Is it true that one human ship stopped the silence? The elders always nodded. Yes. And that day, the stars stood still.